Every citizen in this community is concerned about the quality of public education, is concerned about the safety of our communities, is concerned about the economic development of our city. Investing in young people is the key, and Ronnie Steine understands that.
This all goes back to 1995 when I was hired to be the executive director of the Oasis Center, and I tell people frequently that the Oasis Center converted me to the gospel of young people and their needs and what meeting those needs means to the broader community.
You know, you run across a couple of adults that may think that young people don't know a lot, or they've never experienced, they have no wisdom or knowledge about life at all. They really could care less to talk to a young person. But Ronnie was different. He would engage young people. He would say, if it was a question, he would ask a young person, he'll say, well, what do you think? To get the opinion of the young person. Because, it's not always about, what the adult says. It's a collaborative effort.
For a number of years, I really believed that if everybody in Nashville that's doing good work, individuals and organizations, did their thing, that sort of the Bobby Kennedy ripples of hope would happen, and you'd have this tidal wave, and Nashville would get where it wants to be around young people. Well, I don't believe that anymore. About 3 or 4 years ago, I had this epiphany that the reason we weren't accomplishing what we want to is because everybody wasn't on the same page. Now, everybody had similar ideas, but everybody couldn't articulate where it was that we wanted for young people at the end of the day to become productive adults. So at that point, I began discussions with a number of people, including Mayor Dean, and we began to talk as a community about the fact that public schools need to be one of the primary focuses of what we do with young people. But young people really only spend about 20% of their lives from birth to age 21 in school. The other 80% of their lives is something that we've got to focus on as a community. And that really precipitated the discussions that have led to the creation of the Child and Youth Master Plan.
A youth master plan is really a commitment by the city to invest in its young people strategically and over time. A lot of cities, a lot of communities invest in young people, but without a comprehensive vision or a shared concept of what it's building toward. A master plan helps you guide a variety of investments so that we really achieve the outcomes we're looking for.
Mayor Dean appointed 3 of us, myself, Renata Soto, who is the director of Conexión Americas, and Jairus Cater, who was then a senior at Martin Luther King High School, to head up a task force of 50 people, and we were given 6 months to put together a comprehensive plan for children and youth for all of Davidson County.
When they first told me, I was hesitant because I didn't know what I was getting myself into. With such great people a part of the task force and with the expertise that they had, I felt like I couldn't bring something to the table. But as I started the task force and we started doing work, I started to realize that they actually needed us as young people in the community to have our impact and have our, just have our input on what youth needed in Nashville. Because as older people, you've been young once before, but the set of challenges that young people face today are totally different from the challenges that you may face when you were a young person. So I took it as a privilege.
We convened 55 practitioners, nonprofit leaders, faith-based leaders, all disparate groups, but all who have, on a day-to-day basis, their work in mind and their needs and agenda in mind.
And what we came up with was a blueprint that contains 14 agreed upon outcomes. Now, none of the things that we have in this document are rocket science. You look at them and you say, oh yeah, of course they need to be healthy, of course folks need to have places to play and recreate safely and those kinds of things. But the genius and the importance of this is that for the first time in this city's history, all of those things are written down and they're agreed upon, and so everybody has a sense of where we're going, and that shouldn't ever be underestimated, because you can't get where you want to be if everybody doesn't agree upon where that is. None of this recreates a wheel anywhere in the city. We are building upon the great work of nonprofits and churches and individuals. Folks can go to this document, they can go to this Youth Master Plan, and it's like a big buffet. And you can go through the buffet and you can think, this is what I'm doing with my life. These are the things we want to accomplish for young people, and I can pick and choose the ones that I can impact most significantly. And that's just a huge thing for our community, because it enables folks to find their niche, to do their thing, but it all leads to the same end result. And that for our community is a giant step forward.
When I think about Ronnie Steine and his work on the Child and Youth Master Plan, I think about driven leadership. I think about focus.
Ronnie, the first day I met him, a little intimidated at first because of his occupation, but when you get to meet him, he's a genuine person. He's friendly.
I think of strength. I think of someone willing to take on an issue.
He's not a spotlight type person. He's a person that wants to get the job done and make Nashville a better place.
We brought together young people, parents, and leaders to create a plan to ensure our youth have the support and skills they need to become productive adults. It's going to make a difference.